The first morning after my hospital discharge felt like stepping into a different dimension. Everything was familiar, my apartment, my clothes, even the smell of coffee. But somehow, nothing felt like mine anymore. My reflection in the mirror made me pause. Softened features, fuller lips, curves in places I had never imagined. My face looked like a stranger's. My chest was undeniably present, framed in a bra I still couldn't fully comprehend wearing. I touched my cheeks, then my hair, still silky and long from the post-surgery treatment. "This isn't me," I whispered, but even as the words left my lips, a flicker of curiosity twisted with panic. The commute to work was worse than I had feared. Each step in my new heels made me hyper-aware of my body. My jeans and hoodie felt insufficient. They clung and revealed more than I was comfortable with. People stared, some openly, some discreetly, and I could hear whispers that made my stomach knot. "Morning, Lila," my coworker said casually, though her eyes widened slightly as if she'd never expected to see me like this. Morning," I replied, my voice higher, lighter, softer. My throat felt foreign, like it had been recast in a different shape overnight. Throughout the day, every interaction was a challenge. Sitting at my desk, I could feel the new contours of my body pressing into the chair, reminding me of the irreversible changes. My hands, smaller and delicate, felt almost alien when typing on the keyboard. Even the way I reached for a coffee cup drew attention, the subtle sway of my hips making me painfully aware of each motion. During lunch, whispers surrounded me. Someone nudged a friend and said, "Did you see her?" I lowered my gaze, feeling a mix of shame and exposure. Another colleague smiled awkwardly. "You look different." I forced a small nod, mumbling, "Yeah, different." By mid-afternoon, I had retreated to the quiet of the restroom, staring at my reflection. My heart raced as I took in the reality. The hormones were not just temporary, they were rewriting my body, my voice, my presence in the world. A mix of fear and fascination bubbled inside me. Could I learn to live like this? Could I survive this new identity without completely losing myself? The mirror didn't give answers. It only reflected a soft, feminine version of me I wasn't sure I could claim, or even recognize. My pulse quickened, and my hands trembled as I touched my cheeks and chest. For the first time, I realized that my life wasn't just changed, it was unrecognizable. That evening, at home, I explored my closet. Dresses, blouses, and skirts I had avoided before now tempted me with textures and colors that felt both alien and thrilling. Picking up a light blue dress, I ran my fingers over the fabric, imagining how it would feel against my new body. Chloe, my confidant in this chaotic transformation, arrived with a small makeup kit. "Let's experiment," she said softly. "Just a little, see how it feels." I hesitated, my hands shaking. Applying the foundation, soft blush, and light eyeliner, I caught glimpses of myself in the mirror. The reflection staring back was undeniably feminine, yet something inside me resonated with the change. My lips curved in a small, nervous smile. "It feels strange," I murmured, "but not entirely bad." Chloe nodded. "You're learning to inhabit your new self. It's scary, but there's power in this. You don't have to run from it, you can explore it." I practiced gestures, posture, even my voice. Speaking in the softer tone felt awkward at first, but gradually, each movement felt less forced. I began to notice how this new body responded to subtle cues, the sway of hips, the tilt of my head, the softness of my hands. There was an elegance I hadn't realized I could possess, and it terrified me to feel this kind of control over something that once felt foreign. By the end of the night, I could dress fully as Lila. Standing in front of the mirror, heels clicking softly against the floor, hair curled, makeup applied just right, I felt an unfamiliar sense of curiosity. The fear was still there, sharp and consuming at times, but underneath it was something else, potential. The potential to inhabit this identity fully, to explore what it meant to be Lila, and to maybe, just maybe, own it. Over the next few days, I cautiously tested public spaces. Walking down the street, the gaze of strangers was heavy, but I forced myself to maintain eye contact, posture erect, voice steady. The first compliment I received, "You look lovely," made my heart leap and cheeks burn simultaneously. Pride mixed with embarrassment in a cocktail I hadn't prepared for. I practiced at home repeatedly. Dresses, skirts, even simple jewelry, subtle movements, voice modulation, makeup. Each experiment brought a small victory, a hint of confidence, and a growing awareness that I could navigate this world as Lila. Chloe guided me through small social interactions. Smile, breathe, be aware, but also be natural, she said. People respond to authenticity, even if it's new. Gradually, I noticed a shift in myself. Where once I had recoiled at attention, I now began to enjoy the control of it. The body that had frightened me became a tool for expression, even for subtle empowerment. Each day I explored, each step outside, each mirror glance, chipped away at the panic, revealing curiosity and quiet thrill beneath. The first morning at school as Lila was brutal. I had spent the night tossing and turning, rehearsing every possible way to explain my appearance, or to hide it entirely. But as soon as I stepped into the hall, reality hit me like a freight train. The familiar buzz of students chatting and lockers slamming felt alien. Their eyes darted toward me, some lingering a little too long, and whispers trailed behind me like shadows. Every step in my heels made my heart race. The sway of my hips felt exaggerated to me, but everyone else seemed to notice, and judge. "Whoa, is that?" I heard someone mutter behind me. I froze, hoping they'd look away, but curiosity, or maybe malice, kept their gaze locked on me. My best friend, Daniel, appeared just as panic began to set in. His eyes widened, his jaw dropping slightly. You look different," he stammered. "Different? Yeah, that's one word for it," I muttered, my voice cracking as it escaped in a higher pitch than usual. Panic set in deeper. This was not rehearsal. This was real. Every class became a gauntlet. The chair felt tighter against my new curves, my clothes shifted uncomfortably with every movement, and every glance at the mirror in the corner of the classroom made my pulse spike. People stared openly, whispered to their friends, or shot curious glances when they thought I wasn't looking. I could feel the weight of their attention on me like a physical force. Even teachers were awkward. One of my professors cleared his throat uncomfortably. "Lila, nice to see you. I mean, good morning." His eyes darted nervously. I nodded, avoiding eye contact, wishing I could melt into the floor. During lunch, I sat alone at first, too self-conscious to approach my usual friends. The cafeteria was a minefield of whispers, giggles, and stares. Every time someone glanced my way, my stomach twisted in knots. Even sitting down was a careful negotiation, ensuring my skirt didn't ride up or reveal too much. Then came the unavoidable moment. Someone leaned over and whispered, You actually look like a girl now." Like, really? My face burned hotter than I thought humanly possible. I wanted to run, to disappear, to escape this reality entirely. By mid-afternoon, my head was pounding, my chest tight, and my confidence at an all-time low. I couldn't focus on lessons, couldn't enjoy the familiar routines of school. Everything was filtered through this new lens of fear, embarrassment, and hyper-awareness. My life, my identity, my very existence felt suspended in limbo, judged by every pair of eyes around me. When the final bell rang, I bolted to the restroom, closed the door, and stared at my reflection. The soft, feminine face, the curves, the hair, it all screamed Lila, not me. I touched my cheeks, my lips, my collarbone. Could I survive this? Could I make it through the day without someone exposing me, mocking me, or outright rejecting me? The mirror gave no answers. Only reflected fear, confusion, and the faintest hint of curiosity I hadn't allowed myself to feel yet. At home, I collapsed on my bed, the heels kicked aside, dress rumpled. Chloe came over, noticing my distress immediately. "You okay?" she asked gently, sitting next to me. Not really," I admitted. It's overwhelming. Everyone at school, staring, whispering. I don't know how to act." Chloe nodded, taking my hand. "It's okay to feel scared. But this is who you are now, at least for a while. You can learn to navigate it, to control it, and maybe even enjoy it. Slowly." "Enjoy it?" I laughed bitterly. "I don't even know who I am anymore." "You'll find her," Chloe said softly. "Lila is part of you. Not all of you, but a part. And she can be powerful." I wanted to believe her, but the thought felt impossible. The world outside had already labeled me, observed me, judged me, and I wasn't sure I could ever reclaim control, or even find the strength to explore who Lila could be without shame. Yet as I lay there, staring at the ceiling, a tiny spark of curiosity ignited inside me. Maybe, just maybe, this wasn't the end. Maybe it was the beginning of discovering a side of myself I had never dared to meet. The next morning, I decided to face the mirror on my own terms. For once, I wanted to see Lila without the judgmental eyes of classmates or the curious stares of friends. I closed my bedroom door, sat on the edge of my bed, and studied my reflection. The soft contours of my face, the delicate arch of my eyebrows, the fullness of my lips, it all felt like someone else's work. My hair, long and silky, fell past my shoulders, framing my face in a way I had never experienced. My chest pressed uncomfortably against the bra, a reminder that the hormones and surgery had done more than just tweak appearances, they had reshaped me entirely. Tentatively, I picked up a simple makeup kit Chloe had left. Foundation first, smoothing it over my cheeks, trying to blend with the new softness of my skin. Blush to bring color to my cheeks, eyeliner to accentuate my eyes. With each stroke, a strange sense of fascination replaced the fear. I was creating Lila, sculpting her into something tangible, something I could control. My voice became another frontier. I tried speaking softly, then louder, then whispering, feeling the pitch rise higher than I had imagined possible. "Hello, is this me?" I asked my reflection, almost laughing at the awkwardness. The mirror didn't answer, but I felt a strange thrill. This voice, fragile and foreign, could be mine. Clothes became the next experiment. I rifled through my wardrobe, finding dresses, skirts, and tops I had ignored before. Sliding into a soft pink dress, I shivered, not from cold, but from awareness. The fabric clung to curves I was still getting used to, swaying slightly as I moved. I walked slowly across my room, heels clicking lightly, testing balance and posture. Each step, each tilt of my head, each sway of my hips felt exaggerated at first, but gradually, I started to understand the rhythm of Lila's body. Chloe's guidance was invaluable. She suggested subtle gestures, tilting my chin slightly when speaking, crossing legs delicately when sitting, using hands expressively without appearing stiff. "It's not about pretending," she said, "it's about discovering how Lila moves naturally. You're learning a new language, your body is the speaker." I experimented with different hairstyles, braiding, curling, letting it fall straight. Jewelry, perfume, even tiny gestures in the way I held a cup of tea. Everything became a part of this exploration. Every evening ended with me staring at the mirror, exhausted but exhilarated. Lila wasn't just a costume, she was slowly becoming someone I could inhabit. I began keeping a journal, documenting how my body felt, how my emotions shifted, and how the world reacted when I allowed glimpses of Lila to show. "Today, I walked down the hall in a skirt without flinching," I wrote one night. It felt strange, but also freeing. I can feel myself learning her language. The thrill of private experimentation spilled into small public moments. Walking to the corner store, I wore a simple dress and practiced speaking softly to the cashier. It was terrifying at first, my pulse racing with every glance, but the small victories, the compliments, the subtle acknowledgement from strangers, became addictive. Each interaction strengthened a new confidence I hadn't dared to imagine. Even small victories at school mattered. A classmate complimented my outfit, another asked for advice on hairstyling. For the first time, attention felt empowering rather than humiliating. Lila wasn't just a label forced upon me. She was a persona I could explore, mold, and eventually, perhaps, own. Yet the fear never completely vanished. Every whisper, every stare, every smirk reminded me of how fragile this new identity was. Social media posts, passing notes, even casual conversations felt like potential minefields. I learned to navigate them cautiously, blending Lila with my original self in ways that minimized risk while maximizing expression. By the end of these secret explorations, I began to notice subtle shifts in my inner world. Fear and shame were still present, but curiosity, excitement, and even a budding sense of pride were growing alongside them. The mirror no longer only reflected anxiety, it began to show possibilities. I realized that Lila wasn't just a persona I wore to survive. She was a lens through which I could understand myself in ways I hadn't before. Each step, each gesture, each experiment revealed new dimensions of confidence, sensuality, and identity. I was still me, but I was also becoming someone else entirely, and for the first time, I wasn't sure which part one would choose to keep.